everybody, welcome back to Mature Racing Club's Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship, and we're here at wonderful Spa Francorchamps, as if the big banner across the top of your screen didn't give it away. And we're with the ProAm 2 League, as if the thumbnail didn't give it away as well. So this is the first race of two. We'll be covering the second one, which is Suzuka, if my memory serves me rightly. We'll be doing that in a separate video. As you can see on your screen, these are all the Ferrari 458 Italia, the GT4 cars. We'll get straight underway with it. Might as well, don't need to waste no time. So short run down to La Source. There is always chaos down at La Source. Someone always gets the braking a little bit wrong down here, so let's see who does it first. Everyone gets away well. Car in the background there got a really good start. Shell Shocker GT Raffo going into turn one side by side. How does everyone get through? Looks like the red Ferrari is going really slowly there in the background. The red Ferrari got away really well. And everyone through turn one cleanly by the looks of things. We've got GT Raffo and Shell Shock side by side. I'd imagine one of these guys will yield soon enough. Shell Shock does indeed yield, and instead he's going to go for the slipstream down the Camel Straight. Mung on the back of the top three runs a little bit wide coming out the top of Radion. But survives. Got a little bit of a penalty there to get rid of. We've got Terrence trying to come around the outside of both of them in the number 47. And we're going to go three wide here into... Oh, it's getting a bit close for comfort. Terrence just about gets past Pilgrim, then Mung holds on to P4. GT Raffos fell down, and Walmid has snuck through the lot of them and is up into P1. Let's have a look who's that. That is Pilgrim and Terrence side by side as they approach Dave Corner for the first time. Got Mr. Dre P7, Connor P8 for Connor, P9 for Quinn, P10 for Jambo, P11 for Wooders. Hammercat is P12 with Lega P13, Azeroth 14th, Spider Team 15th, and Rocky Rich for the time being at the back of the grid. We have got a full lobby here tonight, which is great to see. Walmid is defending hard to Shell Shock. The top four starting to break away a little bit. Then Mung just at the tail of that in that Michelin car. Lovely livery on that. I know Mung is a very prolific livery designer. I think he does the liveries for Key 25 and a couple of others. So yeah, as I said, the top four breaking away just a tiny bit. There are battles happening behind. You can see some brakes, some tyre smoke there just creeping in. Cracking on, we've got Wooders trying to get one over on Connor. This is coming down towards Blanchimont. A little bit of contact there side by side between those two. Hopefully they sort the differences out pretty quick. Oh, we've got, it's all kicking off at the top. Let's have a look. Let's just go back. So this is Walmid, who's currently running in P1. He's got Shell Shock all over the back of him. Shell Shock's going to have a really big run, goes for the move down in Blanchimont. It's going to slow both of them down. It's going to bring Raffo and Mung to the fray as well. The car did run wide there. Shell Shock is ahead. Walmid's going to go for it back though. Can Walmid get that move done? No, he has to back out of it. GT Raffo holds third. Mung is still fourth. Pilgrim up to P5 with Terrence closing him down in P6. Mr. Dre starting to pull away from Quinn in P8. Quinn, Jambo, Wooders starting their own little fight. A little bit further back we've got Connor and Lega now fighting out. Lega's just got up the inside. Lega's going to be ahead going into the source for the second time. Connor's going to try and go back. A little bit of contact as Hammercat gets his braking wrong. The back lot completely unchanged from earlier on. Let's jump back up to the top, see what's going on. We've got Walmid down in P3 now. So the two Michelin cars running P3 and P4. And Shell Shock now he's got out ahead. He's starting to build a gap to the rest of the guys now, setting purple sectors. It's like two in it, forgot about that. Raffo and Walmid having a good fight. Is this going to let Mung into the fray? It is. I think that was just that was Raffo getting it wrong there. Let's jump on board with Mung and see what he saw of this. So we're looking at the Halford's car straight ahead now. He's going to get his braking. Yeah, he was a bit too late on the brakes, so it's going to cause him to go deep. Compromises his speed into the second part of that corner, and Mung's just able to sling it round the outside for a nice tidy overtake into P3. all that battling is letting Terence and Pilgrim catch up to this little fight though. So these two guys, Terence hasn't driven the entire series, but he's got a pretty consistent record since joining of pretty much finishing on the podium in every race. So we'll see what the Budweiser Ferrari can do in this one. We have got half an hour ahead of us. We do have times-free tyre wear to consider as well, so the drivers will be facing degrading tyres throughout the race. Alright, so pit stop halfway through is entirely lightly, just to get rid of those tyres. So most drivers will be running super soft 2 stints. It's not really going to be a factor at this stage in the race, but something to watch out for, probably about another 5-10 minutes, just to see how that does affect things. There's not really many direct fights happening at this minute in time. Still pretty much unchanged at the back, although Rocky Rich is beginning to catch Hammercat slowly. So the very bright pink Ferrari 458 is starting to reel them in. Shell Shot then commanding lead at the top. Warmid P2. Mung coming under pressure from Raffo. Raffo, who's trying to get on top of the Michelin Ferrari. For the time being, holding station P4, but Terence is bringing him into the fray a little bit. One thing to sort of mention, I wasn't going to mention this earlier on in the commentary, but I might as well, because you'll notice it. You'll notice a lot of the drivers running Stewie Mac decals and liveries and stuff, and anyone that's seen the channel and is involved in the sim racing community will know we lost Stewie on the eve of this race. There was actually a tribute lap around Spa done by every league, as we watched Terence and GT Raffo go to fight. Raffo going deep at that corner again, allows Terence to do a mung around the outside. Yeah, so most drivers, if not all, ran Stewie Mac decals on the cars, some more prominent than others. Some, to be fair, didn't have time to, because it was very last minute. Some drivers just ran Stewie Mac liveries, like Pilgrim is doing. Stewie did a lot of liveries in GT Sport, so it makes sense that a lot of drivers will want to run his cars. The two Michelin cars fighting it out, though they don't want to lose too much time to each other as Warmid goes wide. Going wide at P1 is punishable by certain death. Terence did the exact same thing. Let's jump on board with the Budweiser car and see what a hash he makes of this. There is GT Raffo just behind him. So he just got a bit too much curb on the inside, pushed him wide. Held on to it, but it sacrificed a lot of speed mid-corner. Raffo and potentially Pilgrim are going to take advantage of that. Shuffle Terence down a couple of spots, back down to P6. Raffo then, his race is coming undone a little bit. He just keeps making unforced errors, and that's pushed him back into these midfield battle fights, when really he got the pace to be fighting up at the top. Shellshock appears to be in a bit of a league of his own at the minute. Starting to pull a little gap, as I can see on the track map. Mung and Warmid, after Warmid went wide at Puon. Let's see if Terence can do anything here. Can he do a 2 cars in 1 down at the bus stop? You're going to have to make a late switch back over to the inside line if he's going to get anything done here. Let's have a look. All cars very close together. Although I think on this occasion under braking, nothing's really going to happen between any of those guys. Quinn, not really seen too much of Quinn. He's in P7, kind of on his own at the minute. He has got Mr. Dre, no relation to Dr. Dre, chasing down in P8. A bit further behind them we've got Jambo and Wooders, very close together. These two have been enjoying a little bit of a battle throughout the start of this one. And then we've got Connor. Connor's been fighting with Lega pretty much the entirety of this stint, really. Asimov P13 as well, with Spider Team P14. Hammercat going very wide at La Source. And a Rocky Rich. Is Rocky Rich going to be able to get past Hammercat here? I think he is. Hammercat very compliant, lets him go. probably aware that he can get him back at the end of the Camel Straight. So a good run out of here. Over the top of Radion, and he cuts that a little bit. He might get a little bit of a penalty for that. Indeed he does, half a second penalty for that, and he's not close enough to Rocky Rich to make any overtake happen. Oh, we've got someone off. Who was that? That was Dr. Dre. He dropped a beat on the apex and off he went. Unfortunately, you know, Wooders and Jambo managed to get out of the way of that spinning Ferrari, because that could have been pretty disastrous if they hadn't. Is Connor going to be able to get onto the back of the Flying Dutchman? It looks like he's managed to get over his scrub tyres issue pretty quickly, Dr. Dre. Merely called him Mr. Dre, not Dr. Dre, sorry. Yeah, so when he spun there, he would have had some tyre scrub. But saying that, Jambo's going for a look. Mr. Dre gives him all the room in the world, but just gets a good drive out of P1 instead, and away he goes. Looking back forward, this fight here has settled down a little bit. Most drivers now just settling into their own little rhythm. Mung's flying away in P2. He's dropped wall mid now by quite a bit, and he's begun catching shell shock. So very similar lap times, those two last time round. Let's see what they do this time round. So a 27.4 for both drivers on lap number 3. We're now about a third of the way through the race. So we should start seeing a good idea of where the drivers will fall. So this lap for Shell Shock is going to be a 228.2, and for Mung a 228.2 as well. So matching each other, 10th for 10th on each lap, these two. Wall mid 27.9 last time, so he actually recovered a bit of pace on his Michelin compadre. GT Raffo at 27.7 that time as well. 27.8 that time, and for Pilgrim 28.5 for Terrence. So he's the one that's losing time here, signified by him dropping way off that pack. He really needs to get his foot down over the coming couple of laps to reel these guys back in again. He has, however, got a good lead over Quinn. Quinn, who is probably having the most boring race out of anyone at the minute, has got a sizable gap in front and behind him. Two separate packs fighting away now. We've got Jambo and Wooders side by side. Wooders getting it all wrong on the curbs there, but hold on to it nicely. He's going to have a good run here on the back of Jambo's car. Jambo doesn't appear to be defending this that much. Quinn just picking his moment to pop out of the slipstream. May have gone a little bit early there. He's gone late on the brakes. Wooders just gets that move done. Nice overtake there by Wooders on Jambo. A little bit further down. Oh, we've got Connor getting it a little bit wrong. We've got Dr. Dre after dropping it a lap ago at the same spot. He's fighting hard against Connor, who's looking like he wants to get past there. A little bit side by side here as he comes down towards Dave Corner. Dr. Dre knocking over the track dildos. It's getting very congested between the two. Mr. Drake almost gets it wrong. A little bit of a tank slap on that Ferrari. Most of the weight in these Ferraris is over the back axle, so if you just get your balance wrong, it can throw the car out. You've got to be very careful of that in these cars, as we see a Lega now going for a move on Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre at this rate is going to need a doctor as he goes. Oh, who was that? A car is backwards, and I want to say it's Connor. So Connor here. What happened? Oh, he got it wrong himself, and then yeah, he just. So this, if we go on board with Lega, we'll get more of an idea. So Connor gets this wrong himself on the inner apex. So Lega's in the right place here, just trying to find some clear air. And yeah, to be fair, Lega just have nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere to go for the Brit there. So unfortunately, that's so Lega's going to wait up, I think, is he? No, how are we going to say he didn't need to? Because it's not his fault. Connor then now fighting with Azeroth. Connor's going to have some scrub tyres though, so he's not going to have as much grip as the cars behind him. Rocky Rich, who was back at the field a lap or so ago, now up into P13 with other people making errors. He's just kept it nice and clean. lapping in the 31.2s at this minute in time. Quick flick back through the pack. Nothing's really changed up here. It has begun to close up again in the battle for P3. So Warmid just ahead of Raffo. Raffo's dragging Pilgrim and Terence along for the ride as well. They've all got to keep it pretty clean coming over Radion again. Some drivers will choose the end of this lap to pit. Some may be brave enough to go for the no stop. Raffo had a really good run there coming up the Kemmel Straight. He's going to get the move done under braking, I think. Raffo, for the first time this race, we've seen him get that corner right. And he makes an overtake happen off the back of it as well. For Raffo now back up into P3, puts Warmid down a spot. Pilgrim, a little bit of a track cut penalty, but it's not major. A lot of drivers will get those. Terence just about holding on to the back of this little pack now. Quinn's still having a boring race out there on his own. But lapping a few seconds faster than all the cars behind him, so he's just going to keep pulling that gap. So from P8 backwards is a completely different ball game. Jambo is winning that fight. Dr. Dre P9, Wooders P8, drifting that Ferrari then. As it comes down towards Dave Corner, Spider Team. We've got Lega, who was held up by that issue that Connor had a lap or so ago. Rocky Rich right on the back of Lega as well. So Rocky Rich is now looking to make up more places. Let's just go on board with Rocky Rich and just see how he navigates ProAm. See Spider Team. Oh, we've got a car. Who is that? That's Wooders. Let's get an instant replay of Wooders' misfortune. I'm sure he won't thank me for this, but I'm going to guess he drops it on the curb at the exit of ProAm. Oh, he did a Terry. He did the Terry look, but didn't hold on to it anywhere near as well. There's not much grip out there, Wooders, and he does a full double spin and gets himself back on track. But those tyres are now going to be absolutely trashed. So he's got to be careful for the next couple of corners because they're going to be hot as hell. That does put Rocky Rich up into P12. He's got the two cars ahead of him fighting as well. So Rocky Rich is really impressing me so far. He's just keeping his nose clean. Dr. Dre's now beginning to pull away. He's reeling in Jambo. Quinn's bored, no doubt. None of the top guys are pitting by the looks of it. All deciding to extend their stints if they're going to have any stints at all. Meanwhile, it's all kicking off back here. Rocky Rich went for a nice little move down at the bus stop. And now there are 3 or 4 cars directly. Oh, as we see a car in the background there, get it terribly wrong. We got a couple of good overtakes here. Rocky Rich, sorry, not Rocky Rich. Spider Team and Connor were having a nice little battle then. A little bit of door banging between these two. Personal space, social distancing, not in either of these guys' vocabularies. They're going to go side by side now. Someone just backed out of it last minute. Connor just squeezed through there. He's now going to get on the tail of Rocky Rich up ahead. Rocky's now up to P11, and that little fight has let Lega escape a little bit. So the bright red Ferrari now a little bit up the road, setting personal best lap times as well. So Lega's doing well in this race so far. Not much else to report going on at the minute. There is a little bit of battling going on. So Terence and Pilgrim swap positions and drop back a little bit from the top 4. Terence is just behind Warmid there, as you can see, but as it stands, not close enough to make any sort of impression on it. So Mung and Raffo are relatively close. Shell Shock a couple of seconds up the road, so the American for the time being absolutely dominating this race. He's got Mung not too far behind though. GT Raffo also following in for company as well. Walmid just a bit behind them. Then Terence and Pilgrim starting to catch back up again. I was a little bit wary that all the infighting that was happening in this little pack would stale the race a little bit. So we just see Pilgrim there. He's gonna pick up some track cut penalties. He is. Him and Terence getting it a little bit wiggly. I think Pilgrim looks like he backed out with that one nice and early, probably to serve a little bit of his penalty as well. Walmid's going to come into the pits. some drivers will try on the no stop here. It is feasible. Spa, although it's quite high deg, it's completely doable to do a no stop here. Completely. Wooders off to pit in. He's right down at the back of the pack now. He's chasing down Azeroth. Hammercat P14. Rocky Rich back down to P13 now. Something's happened to Rocky Rich. He's had a shocker somewhere. Spider team's going to just get that penalty served, but that's going to drop him a couple of places. So is Rocky Rich going to be able to get anything done with this? No, he serves his penalty as well. Right then, roughly last 5 minutes or so, fully uninterrupted. I've not missed too much. A couple of cars have pitted. It has shuffled the order up a little bit, but we'll have a little bit of a recap, just see what's going on. So Shell Shock still leading the way. Hasn't pitted, but obviously losing a lot of time now. Mung hasn't pitted either. Equally, is losing time on all the tyres. Raffo not pitted. Pilgrim not pitted. All these guys no stopping. Warmid is the first of the cars that stopped. These guys are all in the 230s now. Warmid's in the 27s. He's got 2, maybe 3 laps to change his fortunes, so we'll see if Warmid can catch up to the guys ahead. He's certainly going quick enough. Terrence, that lap at 2:33, he basically had a big accident down at ProAm, which has put him out of the running for anything higher, but seems to have P6 all sewn up. P7 is Quinn. Spent pretty much the entirety of the race in P7, all on his own. He has got Jambo for company at the minute though. Jambo occupying P8. Lega. P9, very close battle with Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre's going to go up the inside actually. Very late braking into La Source, and Lega now down into P10. Oh, there's been a change at the top. Let me just go for an instant replay. Instant replay time. We're watching Mung. He's going to get it a little bit wrong. Just the back end of his Ferrari is just going to step away from him. And around he goes like Kylie Minogue, spinning around, holds it though, nice little 360, but that's going to put Raffo up into P2. Mung's not going to have much time to do anything about this, and those tyres are feeling a little bit sorry for themselves. Warmid is catching Pilgrim as well. Anyway, where were we? We were looking at these two, so yeah, Lega P10, Connors P11, not too far behind them, but he's not doing enough lap time to get him up there. Spider team is chasing Connor down. We've got Wooders P13, unfortunately for Wooders. He's had some unfortunate times in this race. Rocky Rich P14 now. Azeroth P15 and Hammercat P16 for Hammercat, drifting it round the source. So Shell Shock still leading the way. I guess one evolving story I want to kind of keep an eye on is whether Warmid can do anything, maybe get himself back on the podium. The guys ahead really struggling with tyres now. Warmid's got relatively fresh tyres on that car. He's lapping in the 27s, probably dip into the 28s now with a little bit of traffic. And we'll see if the Michelin driver can get himself ahead. Coming through towards Blanchimont and the bus stop. Got himself alongside, coming through Blanchimont. He's just going to try and put Pilgrim's line off here. Go for the overtake down to the bus stop, but it's a bit more likely to happen. Pilgrim defends this. Warmid dips very late into the outside line. He's going to kind of force Pilgrim wide. Nice little overtake there by Warmid. He's up now to P4. His teammate is a little bit further up the road, but importantly for Warmid, Mung has started making mistakes now. So a 36.9 that time round for Mung, we know he made the mistake, and a 28.6 that time round for Warmid, though he's got Pilgrim right on his gearbox now as we come down towards Eau Rouge for the 12th time of asking. Oh, but Pilgrim's got it wrong coming around the top of the hill. Fortunately keeps it on the track. Could have been a very nasty accident there for Pilgrim, but the car control was in order. Warmid's just going defensive here just in case an attack happens. It doesn't, so he goes back. For the time being, the Michelin driver can get on with chasing down his teammate. Terrence quite a way back from that fight, but equally has a huge gap to any cars behind him. Quinn in P7, as you can see, just at the start of the Kemmel Straight now. Any other fights happening on track? There is Connor and Wooders. So Wooders now have actually a really good run coming out of La Source, and might get this move made before Rouge. Let's see if see if Connor yields. Yeah, so Wooders up to P12 might pick up a little bit of a track cut penalty there. We've got a minute of the race left, so I'm ready to jump back up to the top, but it looks like Connor's going to try and get this move made back again. So it's the last lap for these guys. Some cars will make it round for another lap. We'll go and have a look and see who that might be in a second. So Shellshot's just come around Blanchimont now. He might well make it round in time for another lap, but you know what, I think he might be the only car that does that, because that's Hammercat, you can see, that's kind of backwards there at the bus stop. He's just parked there, look at the bus stop, that's Hammercat. So Shellshock is going to do a 13th lap, kind of by himself, I think. Raffo, will he get round into, will he get a lap in time? I think Raffo is going to start another lap. Yes, he is. Will Mung get there in time? Walmid, I don't think Walmid's going to get another one in. I think Walmid's going to be the first car to finish. He is. He finishes P4, just missed out on that final lap by a few seconds. He would have loved the opportunity to go after his teammate. Pilgrim, P5 for Pilgrim. Good race for Pilgrim, to be fair. Terrence, P6. He will be disappointed with that. I think made a few errors this time. Quinn, developing his own track limits there is Quinn, but he had the time to do it, so he's going to finish P7. Jumbo P8, just ahead of Dr. Dre. These two coming across the line very close, but 8th and 9th for those boys. Lega P10. Lega had the opportunity to get a much better result here. Can't remember actually him making a mistake, to be fair. He did get caught out by Connor earlier on, but shouldn't have affected him too much. Spider Team P11 for Spider Team in the end. Wooders and Connor settled their differences that we saw earlier on. P12, P13 for those guys. Azaroff and Rocky Rich are going to finish off this lot. I've been watching the leaders on the track map. They are just coming around Blanchimont now, so we should sorry, not Blanchimont, towards they're in sector 2 basically. So Azaroff and Rocky Rich. Hammercat finished a lap or so ago, he's P16. Shellshot though has dominated this race start to finish and got himself into P1 and kept it. All the top 3 drivers managed a no stop, and importantly didn't really dip below the 30s too often. So kept good pace even on old tyres. So your podium, pending any absolute disasters in the last couple of corners, is going to be Shellshot, Rafa and Mung, but we'll watch them come across the line anyway, because that's the right thing to do. And of course these guys will be racing at Spa in the reverse grid, where they pick their own Group 4 car. That'll be in the next video. Not Spa, sorry, Suzuka. That'll be in the next video, so tune in for that one. That'll be out soon. But for the time being, this is how they got on at Spa. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. Tune in for the next one. Like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Drop me a comment what your favourite move of the race was and what your predictions are for the next one, because it's going to be reverse grid, so all the fast cars are going to be at the back. So Shellshot takes the win, Raffo P2 and Mung the last official car to finish P3.